Good evening and welcome to News First International Desk. Fighting continues in the Gaza border with both Israel and Hamas militants continuing cross-border attacks. The UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has called for an immediate ceasefire as clashes enters its sixth day.
Innocent bystanders along the Gaza-Israeli border have become the foremost casualties in the ongoing conflict between militants and Israeli forces as Operation Peel-Off defense continues. When rockets strike, residents living within range around the Gaza-Israeli border run for cover, which however does not guarantee protection. Amateur video posted on a social media website shows a huge blast amidst the buildings of a Gaza neighborhood following an Israeli airstrike. The video shows a large explosion ripping through the densely populated area. Meanwhile, Israeli hospitals are moving their patients to a safe area to protect them from the ongoing barrage of rockets fired from Gaza. Also, Israel continued to deploy ground forces along Gaza's border as hostilities between Islamist militants and Israel entered a sixth day today. In the meantime, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has called on Israel and Hamas to stop this dangerous escalation in the Gaza Strip to avoid further bloodshed in Israel and the Palestinian territories. Also, US President Barack Obama, who's on his first leg of his Southeast Asia tour, insisted that Israel had a right to defend itself but preferred to avoid an Israeli ground offensive in Gaza.
There's no country on earth that would tolerate missiles raining down on its citizens from outside its borders. So we are fully supportive of Israel's right to defend itself from missiles landing on people's homes and workplaces and potentially killing civilians.
Gaza's Hamas militants claim to use Iranian-designed Fajr 5 rockets. Israel's Iron Dome system has received extensive support from Washington, which seeks both to reassure and restrain the Jewish state in the face of the nuclear advances of its arch-enemy Iran.
The American and the Israeli militaries are 20 years more advanced than the Iranian armies. So Iran must never get into a military confrontation either with the US or with Israel. Of course, Iran will use terrorist and guerrilla methods to fight America and Israel and other countries. So there will be no clear winners. Every country will suffer as a result of this confrontation. If there's a war between America and Iran, between Israel and Iran, that will affect Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka is dependent on its relationship with Iran. Sri Lanka should do everything possible to stop that war.
If there is a rocket heading this way, then an alarm goes off. Once the alarm goes off, everyone heads to the basement of the building, or else they are asked to stay indoors. I am in Jerusalem itself, just 2 kilometers away from the mosque in Jerusalem. Life goes on as usual here.
Since the recent attacks on Gaza began, we have been constantly hearing about the Israel Iron Dome system, which the army claims to be an effective missile defense shield. What are its origin and how does it function? Let's take a look.
The Iron Dome has its roots in the 2006 conflict Israel fought with the Islamist group Hezbollah. After years of development, the system came online in early 2011. During the current Gaza crisis, the system has been repeatedly praised by the Israeli military. The system is designed to shoot down incoming rockets using sophisticated radars to track them, intercept and destroy them far from their targets. According to their army, over 980 rockets have been launched from Gaza at Israel, of which 287 have been intercepted, with 90% of the attempted interceptions being successful.